What's up, guys? Team Hard Life Captain Albert Zertucci here. Alright, I did a video yesterday on the loop-ended needle and the reverse latch needle. However, one of the biggest things that we have run into ourselves is because we braid a lot of braid doing the hollow core splicing and do a lot of the loop ends. However, the biggest problem we've ran into is, like we described in the video, is that the loop breaks. I mean, it's very small or very thin metal on it, as you can see, and it doesn't take a lot of abuse. However, at $25 a pop for every needle, it's become a very expensive habit to maintain. So I was sitting there, and I've done it before, and I was like, you know what, this would be something very important to share with y'all. However, I haven't figured out yet how to do the reverse latch part of it, but I can do it for the loop end. And what that is making my own loop-ended needle with the regular needles once they break off. How do we do this? Gotta follow along. Alright guys, so what I've done is all the ends that were smashed or bent or broken, and it's hard to kind of see, but when the needle breaks off at the end, I mean it leaves a pretty messed up end, and even then, once you get the loops out, the wire that is used to create the loop is also still in there. So when you pull them out, you're still gonna have to deal with that wire. Now what I'm doing is I'm gonna get rid of the wire completely, because it takes very little to break them when they have been used and used and used. So the way I'm gonna teach y'all should be able to get you to have a loop-ended needle that lasts a very long time. Granted, you're gonna have to take care of it, because obviously if you don't, it will break. All right, so let's get started. What we basically need is some braid, and what I like to use is about 50 pound. And right here, I'm using Power Pro for this. I was gonna do the hollow core, but it's so smooth on the end that I need it to be a little rough, so it adds a little grip on the inside once I cinch everything down, and you'll understand here in just a bit. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to cut, which I have done. I've cut the ends so they're nice and clean. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert the braid into my needle. And trust me, sometimes it does not go in that easily. So once I've got it in there, and I've doubled it back about an inch, so now the braid is about right to where the end of my fingernail is here, what I do is I insert another small wire in there. Alright, and dang it. Alright, so for the wire that I like to stick inside is the tooth-proof, like Malin wire or the Kingfish wire. And what I'm doing is I'm inserting that wire into the end here along with the braid. And the reason for this is because I'm going to end up crimping it here in just a second, and I want to keep this braid locked in there. Best way to do it is to insert the wire. Now be careful, don't shove it in there, because you're going to stab it into your finger really quick, and that does not feel good, trust me. So once I've got it in there, then I'll take a pair of pliers. I'm just going to pinch it down in one direction, and then on the other side I'm going to pinch it in the opposite direction. And what that does, as you can hear, that's pretty locked in there. And that's a simple way to make a loop-ended needle for your braid. When you're dealing with the hollow core, don't keep buying extra needles. I mean, granted, soon it'll get too short for you to keep doing this, but if you keep pulling that out, you're doing something wrong. You should be able to pull it through and then control it on this end by holding onto the loop itself. Don't be pulling it through, holding it on the opposite end, because eventually you're going to pull it right out. I mean, the braid is only so tough, and it will slip out, and or you'll finally cut it from the inside. Alright guys, so that's a little lesson right there, and I'm going to finish off these and we'll see how they look when I'm done. Once I inserted the wire into there, I noticed that there was a tag end or a piece of burr that was sticking out, and I kept catching it, so I had to find a way to smooth it over so that way I can continue making these loop-ended needles, but also ensure that no burr would catch the inside of the hollow core and destroy it from the inside out. So it took a little finesse on this one, but it was because the way I was breaking the inner wire that I was sticking inside is what created the burr. If I'd have used a pair of wire cutters, it would have been a lot easier, but my laziness is what's catching up to me right now. Sorry, guys. Just a heads up, when we use the grinder to cut off the ends, it kind of tapered them in. So if you take a hook and go on the back side, you can actually open up the hole so you can actually get your braid back in there. Side note.
3 weeks is already like a rainforest in here.
Alright, so with the needles that I had that I was able to work with were these 3. I had 6 of them available, but the other ones are too thin, so that's just kind of a heads up and a drawback to give you an idea of how this works. So the bigger sizes will be readily available to use and to make it into your own needles. However, the smaller ones, they won't be able to, so just a heads up. If you're going to order these, try to go for at least the 100 and 130 pound class. That would be the best size of needle to use for pretty much all the different sizes, even the bigger sizes. Except you can't use the bigger sizes for the smaller ones. Just a heads up on that. Alright guys, y'all have a good one and keep subscribing. We need 2,000 subs so we can get rid of this rod and reel combo or a brand new 80 Avid. Laters.